Not hearing anything, Rob.
Ah, crap. Hang on a minute.
Obviously you are, but
yeah, screw it. Had my theme music going and it took a shit because I didn't click the little button. Oh,
yeah.
well. Anyway.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we're live. And yeah, I went and saw Harley Quinn this week. Wasn't great. Full disclosure, wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. There were a couple of things that were decent in it, but being a huge comic book fan and then having some of these characters be some of my favorite characters, they weren't done very well on screen. And we're going to get into all of that. We're also going to look at some indie comics today. We're going to go over through the Indiegogo list and some of the stuff that's coming out. But anyway, welcome to Nerd Culture Clash, episode 39. I am Comic Book Bob. I'm here as always, with my partner in crime, Tom, the Immortal One Cummings. And how was your week this week, man?
It was okay. Did work. Went down to the Toho convention on Saturday down in Youngstown.
What was it? What convention?
Toho. It's just a big toy convention. So, saw some cool stuff. Got some cool stuff. Where'd you go, Rob? Guess it's just me now.
No, I'm here. I'm messing with things. Continue. You're talking. No, you're talking. Continue.
No, I went and I was really hoping to find some pops I've been looking for, but I didn't. Got some other ones. Got some. Got the Major from Ghost in the Shell. Got some Daleks. I got a.
Where'd my shit go?
Got a Vorcha Cruiser. That's what I picked up. Got to see a woolly mammoth. Go down.
Got to see a woolly mammoth.
Yep. Going down the turnpike.
What kind of convention was this, man? It's like
it wasn't at the convention. It was on the turnpike going down the road. So, wish I would have had my camera out for that one. That would have been nice.
Yeah. All I did this week was go see that movie and watch everybody spurg out. Yeah, man, it was like I said, it's not a terrible movie. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not good.
But knowing the source material makes it a little less palatable.
Yeah, and I have to wonder if that's the big problem. You know, the fact that I'm a comic book nerd, and you know, it makes me biased against things, you know, stuff like that. Like I know the stories of these characters and I know what they're all about and everything. And then you see this movie and it's like they're literally it's a completely different person with a coat of character paint. Mm-hmm. Real quick though, but before I do, we always drop the copy to clipboard. We always drop.
Send it out.
Yep, the link. Chat. Go ahead and drop that in there. Also, to everybody that is watching, appreciate it. And if you could subscribe, and share it out. Helps us get people in here. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and dive right into it. So, marketing aside, you know, obviously they marketed this movie as a very feminist film, which, you know, it's to be expected to a certain extent. I mean, it's a movie about Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Here's the things that let me go over the things that are good about the movie. All right. Margot Robbie is a really good Harley Quinn. All right. She was the best thing about Suicide Squad, which wasn't a very good movie. She's the best thing. Yeah. What's that?
Second best thing. That's just my opinion.
What was the first best thing about the movie?
Diablo.
In your opinion? You know what? I would have said that he was really cool because he actually was fairly close to the way they did him in the comics. He wasn't really in it very much, and then they did that stupid thing at the end where they killed him.
Oh, they killed him. Yeah.
You know,
I was rather disappointed with that, but I really, what little he was in there, I really liked the character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So.
Suicide Squad, the version of Suicide Squad that they based that movie off of, it's actually really interesting. He's one of the most interesting characters in that. But she was, you know, she's good as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
The action sequences are not as bad as I thought they were. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some of them are not as bad as I thought they were. The choreography, the choreographers are the same guys from the John Wick films.
Okay.
So you're going to get some crazy stuff, obviously. And when they finally show up, a few of the Birds of Prey characters actually aren't bad. Huntress, I mean, look aside, the way she acts and everything, she acts like Huntress is supposed to act. The problem is she's only in the movie for like 12 minutes. She's like right at the end. So that's the stuff that was actually good about the movie. Is it's a pretty good depiction of Harley Quinn. Here's the stuff that's bad about it. One, the story is paper thin. Now, normally in a comic book movie, you don't need a really deep story, as long as the rest of the movie can make up for the fact that the story is really basic. The story in this movie is really, really, really basic. It's a jewel heist. One of the characters, the version of Cassandra Cain in this movie, who is absolutely nothing like she is in the comics. Like in the Cassandra Cain she's my Batgirl. Okay, I know everybody loves Barbara Gordon. She is the original Batgirl. She's a great character. Cassandra Cain is my Batgirl. She's the Batgirl who was like a living freaking weapon. She's the Batgirl from the storyline No Man's Land, Gotham No Man's Land. She's the Batgirl who couldn't speak because her whole life she was basically literally raised to be a weapon. She's the daughter of David Kane and Lady Shiva, who comic fans know who Lady Shiva is. She's the most deadly assassin that Ra's al Ghul has. And a character who is on par with Batman as far as how good a hand-to-hand fighter she is, and has actually beaten him a few times. She's awesome in the comics. In the movie, she's a dumpy little 13-year-old girl. And literally nothing like she is in the comics. So that's I'm getting off track. That's one of my big pet peeves about it. That's one of my favorite characters, and they just crapped all over it. She is basically a pickpocket in the movie, and she steals this diamond, and this the story. That's basically the storyline of the entire film. So it's paper thin. When you have now, there's been a lot of comic book movies that had paper thin storylines, but they had great characters and great action, and to cover that up. You know, a lot of the Marvel films are like that. They're very basic, but they've got really good stuff beyond that to make up for that fact. This movie doesn't, because it's all over the place. The action is well choreographed, but it's weird. You know, they do that stuff like, you know how in The Last Jedi, the fight scene in Snoke's throne room, where you've got like 40 guys, but they all attack one at a time. Yeah. Okay. With this, because there's 5 different the big fight scene. When they do that, it's really painfully obvious. It's like this guy goes, and then this guy goes, and then this guy goes. And it's like, come on. This is at least in John Wick, when they attack him, like they're coming at him all at the same time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you get so the action sequences, while they're well choreographed, they feel kind of static to me. And the movie, as far as the storyline is concerned, they try to Deadpool this movie way too hard.
Oh, just constantly cracking.
Well, it's not just that. It's like it's literally it's like they take the zany in Deadpool and they kind of dial it up to 11, which that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, like you're used to like Gotham and the Joker and all. It's this darker story. The color palette in this movie is like neon. It's there. They know, man. They just know. This movie, like the color palette, just looks like someone drank a gallon of neon rainbow paint and just vomited it onto the screen. The colors are all over the place. The other thing too is like the story isn't too terrible for the first act and the second act. The third act, it just completely falls apart. Another problem is, and this is actually something this isn't a problem I had because I knew this going into this, but a lot of people have expressed that they were really upset with this movie because they feel like it's a bait and switch because the title of the movie is Birds of Prey. And then the rest of it's like that, it's the longest freaking title in history, man. The fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, which, by the way, we'll get into something about that title later. But a lot of people thought that the movie was going to have the Birds of Prey characters all through it, and that Harley was going to be part of the story. She wasn't going to be the whole story. No, this movie should have been called Harley Quinn and Friends. That's what the movie should have been.
Probably would have been better.
Yeah, and they've actually changed the title of the movie now. The studio has actually issued an ordinance. They've changed the title of the movie to Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, which is better, but still insinuates that the Birds of Prey are a big part of the movie, and they're really not.
Yeah.
So a lot of people felt like, it was like, well, where the hell are these other characters that are in the trailers? It's like, well, they're there in like the last 15 minutes of the movie. John Dillard says, if an action scene feels static, then it isn't well choreographed. When I say that it's well choreographed, I mean, it's like, it's obvious that the stunt doubles know what they're doing and that the actresses actually did some training to look like they know how to fight. The problem with it being like I said, like the individual thing, that's a director thing. So that's the director stepping in and saying, I want them to attack them like this. So and I don't know, maybe I'm nitpicking as far as that scene is concerned, but it was also wacky as shit. Dude, it was like they're using giant rubber hands and like it's goofy. It's goofy. And it doesn't help. Yeah.
Well, it was as bad as a throwback to
the way I described this movie, and there was a guy who was like, "That's exactly what I was thinking." This movie feels like somebody said Joel Schumacher couldn't possibly make a more campy movie than Batman and Robin. And somebody went, "Hold my beer. We are
on this."
That's what this movie felt like. It tried too hard to be Deadpool. The most interesting character in the movie is Huntress, even though she doesn't quite look right. But as far as the way she acts and everything, she's the most interesting character in the movie. She's in the movie for literally like 12 minutes. If you're a comic book fan, this movie is going to piss you off because these characters are nothing like there are in the comics. And the story is just paper thin, man. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's not good. And like these glowing reviews that the movie's getting are completely disingenuous. And a lot of that, I think, is what's caused a lot of people to just, they've turned against this movie, and the movie is just falling flat. It was projected to come out at I believe it was between $45 and $55 million it brought in 33. So it came in significantly under its projections. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the lowest grossing DC film ever on opening day. And that includes Green Lantern, which was dog shit. Green Lantern was bad. And that has caused, of course, everyone and their mother to come out of the woodwork, getting angry. It was like, oh, everyone's blasting this movie. You're, insert ist here. Even though it's like the marketing of the film, whether they intended it to be this or not, was very, very, very anti-man and anti-guy. It's like, people like the director saying, if you don't, this movie's not for you. So nobody showed up. But what's interesting is I actually found a report. More men went to see this movie than women did. They actually did a poll demographic, and 53% of the people who went and saw the movie were men. So that basically means that the target audience for this movie, they didn't connect with their target audience. This movie was supposed to be a big feminist movie, and they didn't go see it. And so basically, that says that this isn't a misogynist thing. It's not a political thing. It is the movie just didn't look interesting. A lot of people saw the trailers, and the trailers weren't very good. If you watch the trailers, they just look weird. And basically people went, they saw the trailers and they're just like, yeah, we're not interested in seeing this movie. There's not enough here for us to go, spend money. So these arguments of, it's because of misogyny, it's because of this or that, those things ring hollow. Like, I went and saw this movie, and my problems with it have nothing to do with the fact that the women aren't scantily clad. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the entire cast is women. The entire cast are friggin' women when you go see the movie. They're freaking on the friggin' poster. The problem is, I'm a comic book fan. Black Canary and Cassandra Cain are two of my favorite characters, and this movie absolutely shits on them. They're not who they are in the comics, and who they are in the comics are some of the best female characters in comics. So, and this kind of falls into that, for me personally, this falls into that territory of, if you're not going to use the characters, at least reasonably close to what they are in the comics, why are you using them in the first place? And that basically the only reason to do that is name recognition.
Yeah.
Well,
people come see this movie because their favorite character's in it, and they go see it and they're like, that's not my favorite character.
Right.
It's the same name, but besides the name, and they maybe used a catchphrase once, they are nothing like the character that I love. Yeah. And that always pisses me off when they do that too. Or when you have a really good story and then you change the plot just because nobody will come to see it if it's the same story. If it's good, they will.
Yeah. That's been proven. That's been proven through time. It's like,
yeah,
even if the story, like yes, it's a story we've heard before. It's a story that's been done.
But I like that story.
If it's done well and it's entertaining, people will watch it. They're going there. Part of it is nostalgia, okay, because going to the theater, and part of it is this is a character and a property that you enjoy. A good example of that would be the Marvel films. The Marvel films, like we've talked about this multiple times, they're very formulaic. Mm-hmm. They follow a very, set formula. And we know what that formula is, this is, the hero's introduced, this is going to happen, there's going to be this thing here. They're going to, confront this thing. And then, and there's going to be certain beats along the way through those movies. Mm-hmm. But as long as they're done well and they're done entertaining, we'll go watch them,
It's not like you showed up for the second Marvel movie and went, seen it. No, it was still, and all the way through the thing, like I said, for the most part, they hit the beats. So, yeah, it's not going to win an Academy Award for best script, but people are going to go see it and they're going to be entertained by it and they're going to go see the next one.
Yeah.
Can you say any of that about the Harley Quinn movie.
No. And here's the other thing too. Like I said, the plot for this movie was paper thin.
Mhm.
That is the thing that I think saved the Joker film. The Joker, like me and you, we were talking about the Joker before it came out. I'm like, this is not the Joker from the comics, and I was worried that was going to be a problem with the movie. I said, why are you calling this the Joker when it's not the Joker? You know, this is like the director literally came out and said this movie has nothing to do with the Joker. You know, and I'm like, that's a bad thing to say, you know, if you're a comic book fan. But then I went, and one, Joaquin's performance was fantastic. And two, the way they built that story, it was, like I said, it's not a good comic book film. It's a really, really good movie.
Yes.
You know, it's a really good story. It's a really, really good performance. And that saved it. That's why it resonated so well. The problem with this movie is it had none of those things. It wasn't a good story. It wasn't deep. The character, other than Margot Robbie as Harley herself, most of the characters fell flat. And the rest of the things that they were hoping would save this movie from those shortcomings just weren't there. They just didn't mesh together. So that's why a movie like this failed and a movie like that succeeded, because damn, that was a good performance by freaking Joaquin Phoenix, man.
Well, not only that, but the Joker, like you said, it's a good movie. If that had literally been a comic book, it would have been like, okay, that was a nice thought piece.
Yeah.
Put it up on the shelf, and I'll maybe read that again 20 years from now. But, you know, like you said, it's a great movie, would not have made a good comic book.
Yeah.
So,
it's, you know, and I see a bunch of people coming out here saying, oh, this was a great, the people who are coming out saying that this was a great movie, immediately I'm calling their taste in movies into question. Because like I said, if you like this movie, I don't have a problem with that. You know, don't come out and act like this thing is the best thing that ever hit cinema. You know, and the people who are defending it are like, this movie was fantastic. The only reason you people don't like it is the blah, blah, blah. But then I'm like, okay, but why didn't it? Two things. These are interesting points that I was actually talking to other people about. And one of them was a young lady who was really upset that they were blaming men for this movie failing. And she's like, so basically what you're saying is that because men didn't go see this movie, it's like women, you're basically marginalizing women by saying that. It's like, you made this movie for us, is what they're saying. They made this movie for women. If the movie failed, that basically means that it can't succeed, that a movie made for women can't succeed. Which we all know is complete BS, because the Joy Luck Club lives. You know, that movie exists. Okay, and that movie was a huge hit. And that was a total chick flick.
And Steel Magnolias.
Yep. Still, so that argument is bullshit. But in her opinion, she said that kind of statement marginalizes women, and marginalizes female moviegoers. Because you're basically saying that a movie can't succeed unless men go see it. Unless, you know, which it doesn't hurt if they do. You know, if your movie appeals to both, you know, to both sexes, then yeah, it's going to do better. You know, you're generally going to probably do better. But the idea that a movie that's made specifically for women can't be supported by women, can't be successful if only women are supporting it. She said that felt kind of sexist to her, which is an interesting point, because like I said, the majority of people who went and saw the movie were actually guys. So that means that most women didn't want to go see this movie.
Well, part of the problem with that, I think, is the whole, while a lot more women, especially openly, are more into the comic book scene and have been, you know, getting into it more over the years.
It's growing.
Yeah, it's still growing. And this movie probably should have been made later. Or if you're making it right now, you can make it tilted towards a female audience, but to carry a comic book movie on just the female audience, if that's what you're banking on, I just don't think it's there yet. You just don't have the numbers.
Mm.
I mean,
also, I don't think they marketed it very well.
Yeah, they didn't.
This movie, like the marketing for this film, and I'm wondering if that they were banking on Margot Robbie being this big draw for this movie as part of that, or as part of their marketing for this, because like I said, the trailers for the movie, like they weren't very good. And a lot of people were making their opinion based off, strictly based off that trailer, because that's kind of what the damn trailer's for.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make you want to see a movie. And they were just really bleh,
I think I've seen 2 trailers for it, and I saw both of them in the theater. I've seen nothing, like I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube about movies and comic books and stuff. I never once got an ad for it. And the other 2 I saw were in the theaters, and I only saw the 2. It's not like with the movies that I go see, it's not like I saw these same 2 trailers like 3 or 4 times. I saw each one once. And that was it. That's all of like the advertising, at least that I've seen for this. I mean, I don't know where they're putting their budget.
Yeah, I did get a couple of ads in Twitter, but only like a day or 2 before the movie came out. Or like,
it's not like it's been building up for months. I think I've seen both of those trailers within the past 6 weeks.
And I also I may actually have seen those I may actually have seen those trailers on those ads on Twitter after the movie came out, like literally like Thursday, Friday when it first hit. Now that I think about it, but not only that, but it's not just that. It's the way the movie was packaged. It's the way they did the trailers. They weren't interesting. There was nothing in them that made you like, I want to see. I gotta see this movie. Other than it's Harley Quinn and it's Margot Robbie. Like literally, I think they were banking on her star power and the popularity of the Harley Quinn character to sell this freaking movie, and it just wasn't enough. So from that, and then who the hell came up with the friggin' name of this thing? Like they're just now like, oh, we need to shorten this name. It's like, are you think? And they're hoping, hey, what's up, Boogie? Hey, shout out to Boogie Bentley. Hey, I hope you're feeling better, man. Boogie's been sick as a dog lately. We're hoping he's going to be okay for the Wrestling Council cast this weekend. Yeah, we really need our friggin' we need our ring general to be there for us. But thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, don't go see this movie. You're already sick. You go see this movie, it'll put you in the friggin' grave. So
not a ringing endorsement there, Rob.
And I don't want to sit here and pontificate about this movie sucking and how bad it is. I don't enjoy this. I mean, yeah, we're having fun right now because we're joking about it.
Yeah.
But I don't enjoy watching movies with some of my favorite comic book characters failing. And like I said, for me particularly, yeah, I'm an old man. What the hell? John Diller said, "Are you hearing this mess? CBB is so out of touch." Yeah, I'm the old guy sitting on his porch yelling at the kids, "Get off my friggin' lawn, you bastards!" Hey! Slow. Dude, I'm gonna reach to that friggin' camera here and I'm gonna strangle that shit. But Huntress is actually, yeah, we were talking about that, Boogie. Boogie says it's not for men, but it's their fault the movie failed. Yeah, we were talking about, there was actually a young lady who actually came at some critic went on like a 15-page friggin' Twitter tirade about how men were responsible for the movie failing and they don't go see feminist films and all this stuff. And the young lady basically, I'm just trying to put it in a nutshell, basically said that saying that marginalizes women because you're basically saying that a film made for women can't succeed if men don't go see it, which we all know is complete BS because, like we said, movies like Joy Luck Club and Steel Magnolias and all that stuff, those movies exist and they make bank. So that's a dumb argument. And then there's also like I said, there was a report that was put out that the majority of people who went to see the movie, I think it was like 55% were actually men. So it's not that it didn't fail because men didn't go see it. It failed because nobody went and saw it. Well, very few people went and saw it. So, yeah. And here's the thing. I still think the movie's going to make money. It's not going to make a lot of money. It's not going to be the financial success that they were hoping it was going to be. It's probably going to make Warner Brothers gun shy about doing another film like this, and people are just going to sit there and point fingers at each other and blame, you're the reason this failed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But as we've begun to see, man, a lot of people are not buying into that BS anymore. Case in point, the Oscars, which everybody knows is pretentious as hell, had I think it was the lowest viewership they've ever had. They've had in like the last 30 years on that show, which is like, yeah, nobody wants to sit here and listen to people like you pontificate about how awful the rest of us are. It's Anthony Hopkins, had the best quote when talking about that whole thing, where he said, "I don't know why anybody listens to us. We're just, just because we're famous doesn't mean we're smart." He's like, he basically came out and says, like, "I don't know why anybody would ask me for advice on anything. I don't know shit." So, but then of course, some people were invested in it because they wanted to make sure that they wanted Joaquin Phoenix to win Best Actor, and he did. So Joker got won a couple of them, even though that movie Parasite was the big it was the big winner there, which I watched that movie. It was all right. I didn't hate it, but yeah, you knew they weren't going to give Joker everything, man. There's no way they were going to give that movie everything. Too many people were upset with it, but yeah, and like I said, man, some of these characters are some of my favorite characters, man. I'm a big Black Canary fan. I'm a huge Cassandra Cain Batgirl fan. And they can do, and the other thing too is like the idea to go like full Deadpool with this movie, I think was a big mistake. What they should have done is, actually, I'm going to share this out, the screen for this, because there was a comic miniseries that was just done by Stefan Sejic. Where you at here? I believe that is it right there. Nope, that's yeah. We got to talk about this later. That's the cover for Captain Marvel number 13, and there's gonna be a whole lot of comic book fans being like, really? Now you're just trying to piss people off, because you got Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. She got Captain America's shield, Iron Man's gauntlet, and she's carrying Mjolnir. And it's like this is literally like an FU to friggin' male comic book fans. So I saw that, I was like, that's funny. So
well, what of any of those does she actually need?
Well, it's not even that. It's just the idea, like, this is basically like, this cover was literally done to make old school comic book fans angry because they don't like Carol Danvers. Most old school comic book fans just don't like Carol Danvers, or at least they don't like the current version of Carol Danvers. And it's funny because like they'll take one step forward. Like she's being written better now than she has been in the past. It's still, for some reason she can't not kill Tony Stark. This is like, I think the current storyline to do with her, this is like the second or third time she's killed him. But a lot of there was a lot of feminist push in the movie, which a lot of people took the wrong way. Didn't appreciate that and everything. And of course, in the comics, they're desperately trying to make her basically their version of Superman, which means she's got to be better than everybody. So obviously, she's got all their stuff. It's goofy, This is one of those things where it's like, why? There's no reason for this. But anyway, that's for a different. That's a different thing here. I'm gonna kill that. There's the picture I wanted. Again, this is just old man Bob yelling at things.
Get off my comic book.
Get out of my comic book. Yeah. Okay. So this book, this basically tells the origin of Harley Quinn. And it starts off when she's Dr. Quinzel. And it basically kind of goes through her motivations of why she's trying to cure the Joker of his psychosis. What's cool about this is it not only shows it's a very like there are moments of humor in it. Obviously, it's Harley Quinn. It's you expect that, but it's done very seriously, and it's done in a way that you sympathize with her, even though you realize that she goes completely nuts. Yeah, Boogie says 2019 Comic Cast cover of the year. Dude, Stefan Sejic is an amazing artist. That guy has done some of my favorite stuff ever. And if you ever get a chance to, he has a Twitch channel where he actually does stuff live. And the guy's amazing. He's amazing. He's one of the best artists working in comics today, I personally feel. He's also got an awesome sense of humor. Like I've shown Tom, I've shown you some of the stuff. Yeah. Like the dude's sense of humor is fantastic.
He is. He's, I don't want to say zany because he's not really, but yeah, he's got a wicked sense of humor.
He gets it. He just gets it. You know what I mean? He knows how to make something funny without making it cheesy and stupid. And that's actually the humor that's in this book is that kind of humor. It's that like real to life, yep, that's friggin' hilarious. That kind of stuff. But what's cool about this is it not only shows her descent, it shows how interacting with all of with Batman himself and all of Batman's rogues gallery, how it affected her opinion and everything, but it also shows how the Joker manipulated her and how he keyed into it it shows how smart the Joker really is. And the fact that he could take someone like her who's actually very, very intelligent, it doesn't belittle her. It shows her succumbing to him, but it doesn't belittle her in any way. You know what I'm saying?
He sees her buttons and he pushes them.
Yeah, he's a master. He's a master manipulator. And this is what they should have made a movie off of, in my opinion. If they had made a movie off of this
and done it right,
it could have been on the level of the Joker, of the Joker movie. It really could have. Obviously, a little bit of a different feel, but it's got that level in it because it's kind of that saying where if you stare too long into the abyss looks back at you. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what happens to her in this. Like she gets so into the Joker that she kind of gets pulled in. She falls into it. So this is what they should have done a movie on. If they had done a movie on this and actually given it the same seriousness and effort that they put into the Joker film, man, that movie would be amazing. But given the current climate, I don't think they would ever do this as a movie because there are too many people who would say that that's basically they're making her weak. And it's like, no, you have to read the story. She's not weak. She's just in there against a freaking monster. And it's just one of those stories where you realize like that she never had a chance. But yeah. And by the way, anybody who has never read this really need to go pick this thing up. It's awesome. And it's also done. It's in the premium format, so it's the larger books. And there's 3 of them. Then they're square bound, so they're really, really nice. But yeah, I mean this. There's going to be a lot of hemming and hawing about why Harley Quinn, like the Harley Quinn movie, failed. But it failed because at the end of the day, it's just not very good. You know, and all of the arguments for it and everything, like some of the friggin' conspiracy theories around this thing are friggin' hilarious. One of them is saying that the reason why it failed is because the Chinese market got wiped out because of the virus. And I'm like, that, you know, the movie wasn't going to get a big release in China anyway, because they didn't want it. And it's like, you know, you can't, it's listening to people try to make up excuses like, oh, well, it's because it was R-rated. The Joker was R-rated and it made $1 billion. You know, it's the arguments against why the film failed. They just fall flat. It didn't succeed because it didn't appeal to anybody, and it's not that great of a film. And that's the end of it. But I'd be interested in see, like, if you do go see it, I'd be interested to know what you think about it, man. Because I know you're not just gonna automatically agree with me. So
yeah, I'll probably go see it this weekend.
Yeah, I went and saw it. I'm not gonna say I bought a ticket, but I saw it. I still, dude, man, there's so many movies I still have to watch. I still haven't seen 1917.
That was good.
Yeah, a lot of people were really mad that didn't win the Academy Award, which I don't. Man, I could give a crap about Academy Awards.
It was really good. I definitely liked it. It's visually stunning, but movie of the year, especially up against something like Joker.
Well, that's the big one that a lot of people were upset. They're saying Joker should have got movie of the year.
Now, I haven't seen Parasite, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it. And yeah, even just the things that the parts that I have seen through trailers and clips and stuff, and what I've heard about the plot, it does sound like it really is good, and they did a really good job with it.
Well, the guy who made it's the same guy who did Snowpiercer.
Okay.
And Snowpiercer is a really, really cool movie. If you ever get a chance to see that, it's based off of a Japanese manga, and that's the one where the last vestiges of humanity are on that train. Like basically,
the train. Okay.
Yeah, and the entire world's basically in like an ice age, and the train just keeps going and going and going. It never stops. So it's then, you know, and they fight their way through the entire train to, you know, get to the front of it because it's a revolution on this thing. It's a really, really good movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a really, really good film. Honestly though, I don't know if it deserved it or not. I don't really care because, like I said, I don't give a shit about the Academy Awards anymore. It's basically just a chance for them to, you know, glad hand each other. You know, it's the Academy Awards to me is like the Screen Actors Guild Award. It's just one rung above that, because the Screen Actors Guild Award is basically actors choosing to give themselves awards. So it's basically it's like let me tell everybody how amazing I am. So it's one of those stupid things. So I don't care. Award shows to me, they're stupid. They've always been stupid. The award you get for doing a good movie is your movie does well, and you have a career. That's your award. That's the best award you could possibly get. But okay, so that's my take on Harley Quinn and everything. Let me go ahead and kill this. I do want to go over some indie books because I don't want this to be a whole thing about my penis. So let me go ahead and share this out. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick look at some of the books that I'm interested in.
Black Hops. I saw that.
Yep. We'll hit that in a second here, man. So She, Return of the Warrior. I'm gonna go ahead and let this thing hurry up. I'm a big fan of Billy Tucci. I love She.
Yeah.
You can still get this book. It's, you know, I'm definitely buying this book. You have till March. From what I understand, he's still doing pretty well. He's pretty much on target to hit his date, which is good. To freaking look at that cover, man. That is so freaking cool. I remember buying this thing back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And there's two, like I said, there's multiple versions of that cover. I like the
White
red.
or
I actually
red.
like the red armor better.
Well, that's more what the color scheme
The
that she was
traditional,
originally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the white's cool, but I like the
yeah.
red color better. I'll tell you the cover I'm getting, man. This is kind of fun. I like gimmick covers like this, where it's like they're aping something.
Yeah, the Spider-Man.
Yeah, the one that I really want. See if I can find it here. That's really nice right there too. But there we go. There's a couple of pages that he put up. It's beautiful. This is the one I'm getting right here.
The castle.
The castle, yeah. And
Nice.
actually, I might get the George Perez. This one right here, I might get too, because it's George Perez. George Perez is freaking fantastic, man.
And that looks a lot like the old, they said the 90s. That could have been a cover back in the 90s, and it just would have fit right in.
Yeah, George Perez is a freaking legend, man. And then they've got all the different the challenge coins and stuff that he's doing for. Dude, look at that T-shirt. That's freaking sweet.
Cool.
That would be a badass T-shirt. But yeah, I dig it. He's doing really well. I think between this and I believe between this and Kickstarter, I think he's up to like 125, 130,000. So doing really well for this relaunch. Hey, Galmer, appreciate you stopping in, brother. Everybody, everybody that stopped in today, guys, I we greatly appreciate it. It's better than talking to ourselves. But yeah, if you haven't backed it, definitely back She. I think Gunship Thunder Punch is done. Yeah, this one's done though. But I really like Brian Shearer. I love his Transformers art, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this book. He's getting ready to fulfill here very soon. Where Brand is done as well. Antonio, I've actually got the PDF for that. I'm rereading that thing a couple of times because I want to, when I do a review for it, I want to give it justice. But my man Antonio Bryce, Canyon White's book, it looks freaking fantastic. And if you didn't back it, I feel sorry for you. Of course, Expendables Go to Hell. Richard C. Meyer, that thing is killing it. 111,000 in 10 days. This thing's gonna be 250K easy. But written by Sylvester Stallone and Chuck Dixon, my favorite Punisher writer, with art by Graham Nolan. Dude, this thing looks bad as hell, man. I love this first page right here, man. Just looks so good. But really cool seeing that succeed. Definitely be back in that. Punchline, Super Frenemies, hardcover, trade paperback. You could still get it. It's available till March, Tom.
I think I already ordered it, but mine's coming through regular channels.
Okay, so you're not going to get any of the cool stuff that comes with the book.
Yeah, I'm getting the book. Counts.
Matthew Weldon, great artist. Punchline, which was a really interesting book. The first storyline was really cool. I dig it, man. Grim Reaper 2. I just had John and Carla on. Really great couple. Glad to see Grim Reaper 2 outselling, on pace to definitely outsell the first book. Really, really great couple. That video that Carla put together was fan-freaking-tastic. In fact, it was so good that Antonio tapped her to do the intro for his next book, Way of the Gun. Interesting story. Couldn't support a nicer couple if you tried, guys. And really glad that everybody was able to come in and help them out when things got really ugly, when they lost everything in that house fire. Boogie said, I need that Kyle Ritter cover, even though it's one issue. Dude, that Kyle Ritter cover is going to be that's another one that we got to look at, man. Freaking Star Blades. You go ahead and pull that sucker up here. Gotta dig there. I got so many things bookmarked, man. It's ridiculous. Star Blades Volume 1 by Deaf colorist Carl Ritter. Deaf colorist is actually his Twitter title. I'm not saying he's a deaf colorist, even though he is. I'll edit that out. 145,000. Kyle, he had a health scare, so obviously he wasn't able to hit his January release date. He's working on it. He's definitely hard at work at it. He's going to get this thing done. Dude, the video for this thing is freaking insane. And it's just, this is like pure 90s, off the wall, pure action, and just the art's beautiful, man. I mean, look at this stuff. That's the cover I got right there. And the villain's cover, like, it's just, this is like Image heyday type of art. And if you're into superhero type stuff, man, this is it. But like Boogie said, man, he's doing covers for other books, and they're super, super popular. Let's see here. There was one other book I wanted to hit, and I'm trying to find it. Okay, so yeah, the Black Ops is done, I believe. I like you. I ordered this one. This is another Matthew Weldon book, man. The first Black Ops, you could still get this through your LCS. Unfortunately, the campaign's done, but the first Black Ops was surprisingly good.
Considering it's about a superhero rabbit, and not just like a no, it's just a rabbit. Well, not just a rabbit, but it's Captain America if Captain America was a freaking rabbit. Yeah, best description ever. But another one, Vinny Tartamella's Through the Woods collection. I'm actually going to pick this up. I did not get in on the book when it was individuals. This looks interesting though, and yeah, I'm probably going to back this one as well. This is kind of a horror. That's kind of a ghost story / horror comic. I believe it's, how many pages is this thing? I think it's like over 100 pages, so it's a pretty good sized book. And then where's Clint's other book, man? Clint Stoker campaigns. What the hell, man? So I'm looking for Downcast. There we go. Downcast, Rise and Fall. So this is Clint Stoker's new campaign, Downcast, Rise and Fall. Clint was just on Boogie's channel. Really, really great guy. Again, Matthew Weldon knocking it out of the park with the freaking cover, man. And look at that. God dang it, man. That is so freaking good. I'm a huge Matthew Weldon fan, if you can't tell. But a little bit there, Robert.
Yeah, I didn't get in on unfortunately I didn't get in on the first book, but I do believe that there is a volume 1 and 2. You could actually get both books. I'm gonna have to back that one. But it's kind of a dystopian story with a brother and sister who basically have the power of gravity, and it kind of reminds me of what was that movie? The one with all the airships and stuff.
Oh, the one that's all CGI background. That one.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, we went and saw that. The one with all the cities that are mobile. Oh,
that one. The yeah.
That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this book, where there's this this family, they're basically being used to power the city and stuff like that, or the world. So after the near collapse of the city, Joan and Jax find the opportunity they've been waiting for, a witness willing to testify in court to save their family. Joan and Jax and her brother on the run from a corrupt government where the power to control gravity falls into their hands. With their father held captive and sentenced to death, can they use this legendary, incredible, powerful weapon to save him before it's too late? So you kind of have it's like a dystopian society kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But really good looking book, really well written. That Matthew Weldon cover pops. And yeah, man. So I'll be back in that book as well. Anything on your radar there, Tom?
I got a couple things that I've missed some issues of, so I'm waiting for the trade paperbacks to come out to sit down and actually read the stories in them. And luckily, I have a issue here of Dog Eaters. I believe this is number 4.
Give me a second. I'll highlight you there. Stop the screen, and there you go.
There you go. Ooh,
all right. Good. And Art Press.
Yep, Antarctic Press Dog Eaters. I'm not sure when, but I know that the trade paperback is coming out, so I'm going to be getting that and getting the whole story.
What's
and
the
the exact
premise
same
on
thing with the ad on the back for Badass.
Badass. I don't know what either of these books are. Mortal Engines, that's what it was called. Thanks
There we go.
Dude, my brain was like, that movie was so bad. Like, the coolest thing was the world and stuff they didn't have it in there, but the rest of the movie was sucked balls.
Yeah, it was much better. The setting was better than the plot or
everything in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, John. Hold that book back up, man. You gotta give me the shot, the pitch for it, man. What is it? What are they? Either one of them.
Well, the Dog Eaters, it's kind of a whole future dystopian thing out in the wastelands fighting raiders and marauders and stuff. Yeah. Lot of action in it.
It's kind of a manga style.
Yeah, it's kind of the American manga style. The American ripoff, that's what I would call it.
American ripoff? Dude, you're such a friggin' purist.
Well, I mean, it is a distinctive style, actual manga, or when you got Americans copying it. So
it's kind of a Mad Max kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely Mad Max. A good one. The Badass, I'm not exactly sure. I think I got like issue 3. I missed out on 1 and 2. So the story's kind of like, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But it looks interesting. The art, I like the art in it. It's very simple. It's very black and white, angular.
Okay. Who's the artist?
Oh, let's see if they have it on here. This is Adrian Nelson. Is that the artist, or is that the?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's the artist or the writer. It must be the artist because AN is the initials on the artwork. So
okay.
So probably both artist and writer.
Okay, that happens a lot. And who's the artist on the other one?
Yeah, and the Dog Eaters is writer, creator, and producer by Malcolm Wong. And art color finishers, Gilmorado A. Angel.
Okay.
It's just for people, so
yeah.
My bad reading.
Oh my God, that's like, there we go. All right, now it's in focus.
Yep,
holy crap. Okay.
All the information you need on that one. But yeah, I really like the art in both of them, even though this one is very, very colorful, a lot of stuff in it. And then this one is a lot more, I mean, the cover.
More simplistic.
Yeah, this is much more, simplistic, I guess, is good. Very
well, actually, more minimalistic.
Stark. Very stark.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That's what I will be reading.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's about all I had, man. I was just going to come in here and whine about Harley Quinn being terrible and try to prop a few people up. I'll tell you what, man, I can't believe this friggin' story, this thing right here. I'm going to maybe share this real quick. So we're seeing a lot more professionals start doing their own indie books and stuff like that. Ed Bennis, who's one of the best friggin' comic book artists, in my personal opinion, working today. This guy this dude is like an industry pro, man. This guy is a huge name. His book only made $30K. How the hell is that possible, man? This dude is huge. And I got to believe that the emphasis of how important, self-promotion is and whatnot. Like, look at this artwork, man. This guy is freaking fantastic. Now, obviously, there's some cheesecake going on here.
A little bit.
But just the detail work, and like I said, this guy has worked on Justice League. He was the original artist on Birds of Prey, which is one of the reasons why I actually first started reading that book in the first place, even though I did like those characters. his artwork, I'm an art guy first.
Mhm.
So, his artwork kind of pulled me onto that book. This guy's artwork is gorgeous, man. And yet they can't generate more than some of the, I don't like saying the lesser creators, indie creators, but the indie creators who don't have a huge name,
Who aren't established.
who have worked to establish themselves on platforms like YouTube and whatnot. They're doing better than this guy who's a huge industry professional. And I can't help but believe if these guys became a little bit more open-minded and reached out to some of these people that they've kind of banded as pariahs, that they wouldn't be infinitely more successful, man. Like if this dude went on Ethan Van Sciver's show, this book easily would double that easily. And if they came on like YouTube and started building an actual following, it'd be even bigger. So this should be like a cautionary tale for any of these new these creators from the industry who are coming into crowdfunding. Man, is like you got to put the work in to build up your audience out here, man. Because if you go down here with just name recognition alone, it's not going to do it. This book, I'm actually going to get this book because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of his artwork. But man, just how much more successful this guy could be if he was actually willing to, reach out a little bit and put the effort into self-promotion. So look at that, dude. That's like you could make a pinup of that and sell that to every friggin' male comic book fan on the planet. But 30,000, that's amazing to me. I saw this, man, and I was just like, you got to be freaking kidding me. How the hell does this only make $30,000? Which, like most people are like, dude, $30,000. It's like, what the hell, man? What are you bitching about? I'd love to have $30,000. Yeah, so would I. But I'm not friggin' Ed Bennis. So, anyway, that's my last bit of old man. Thank you to everybody that's been here. John Dillard, Boogie Bentley, Galmer. I'm probably forgetting a few people, but like John just said, my brain is old. Great Council, thanks for being here, guys. And check us out next week, same time. As always, we always drop the link in the chat for anybody that wants to come in and hang out. If you got a book that you want to push or anything like that,
come on,
let me know. Come on in. We're always open. Check us out on Boogie Bentley's channel this week. Is right? Am I right about that, Boogie? I think so. The Wrestling Council this Thursday, 9:00. Holy crap! There was a lot of wrestling stuff this week, man. It's gonna be fun. It's always a fun show, and even if you're not even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's fun because we get silly as shit. But thanks for being here this week, guys. It's always appreciated, and we will see you guys next week.
Take care. See you later.
Bye. Before I do, you know what? Damn it! It's gonna work this time.
Oh, your music?
Yes. Damn it. It kind of kills the friggin' thing of it when it's
It takes a minute to boot.
There you go. Boogie knows what this is. All right, guys, take it easy.